Um, oh boy, I had so much problems with my, we're gonna turn this off. I was using, and I still am using, sorry, I am just very annoyed right now, so I'm trying to remember what, tripod, I'm using a tripod to, record, and it kept on falling off the box that I had it on to hold it up, and even when I didn't have it on the box, it was still messy. But anyways, to get to the point, I got a bag of things. The things are out of the bag, but I don't like that. I don't like that the camera is shaking every time I touch the table. But I got things, and I will show you what I got. I got them from my local comic store. They are D&D things. Not all of them are. Some of them are just fantasy themed things that I thought were nice. And they were free too. Some of them, anyways. But yeah, to go off the, I'll save the unboxing thing for last. But field notes. First off, I got the Game Master field notes for Christmas, but I decided to get these as well because I feel like I would get more use out of these than the Game Master ones. Not saying that I'm not grateful for that gift, because I do want to write my own campaign. It's just it requires time. It requires a lot of time and dedication currently that I do not have currently. So, yeah, but to go over what is in this book, there are 64 pages. 63 if you're not counting the licensing on the back of the thing. Sorry, I just got a thing about Critical Role starting soon, which that's literally why I was panicking to get this, because I want to get this done before Critical Role starts so I can watch that. But yeah, to go over, first off the outside, I like the red finish on it, because compared to the other books, which I will review, the Game Master Guide, I just didn't want to do them all in one video. Try and scoop my chair in. I didn't want to do them all in one video because, in all honesty, I could make more content doing them individually. But yeah, so going off just the looks by itself, it's pretty small. It can fit in my little backpack like perfectly. And my backpack is small, so this will definitely fit somewhere. Like if you carry a backpack or like a little purse with you whenever you go for your games, if you have them in person or online, which online wouldn't matter, but it's a nice little handheld book, which all books are handheld, but you get what I mean. And it's decently sized, and yeah, they come in this little cardboard holder thing, and they have two. I've already begun writing in this one. I'm not gonna show you what I've written in that, because I think I will go over that in an entirely new video once our campaign is over, with permission, of course, from my DM, because I know campaigns can be personal. But going off of what this book, what like the actual book has inside of it, which I loved for the Game Master one as well, is just the inside cover. Like, like I like what's all in this book, but the inside cover is amazing. There are a ton of different things. Like there are explanations for exhaustion, areas of effect, size categories, object, armor class, a start, and this is interesting that I started to put in a start and end date. So like if you're like me, where like I want to record my progress and see like how far this campaign will actually go, you can write down the starting date and the ending date for it. And also, you can't have these for any longer because it says 20 right there. So if you have them after the 21st century, then sorry, but you can't use this. This is officially out of date if you have these in the 21st century. Pertinent coordinates. So in other words, like if this gets lost, you can write your name down. You can write like where how the best way to contact you is in case someone finds this and is like, hey, we lost this. like someone lost this and they need to find it. And yeah, so there's that. There's an index for it, which I'll cover all the pages inside, which this will be a little bit of a longer video since this is it's a small book but has a lot of stuff in it. But just the first thing, character elements. So like you have a place to put your first name, your character name, your class, your subclass, background, race, character sketch, all the stuff like description wise of your character, like your alignment, faith, gender, weight, skin, hair, that kind of stuff. And on the can't turn these pages. The next just kind of follows that, so like race details, ancestry details. So like you could write what your race actually has, like what bonuses like your race gives to your actual character, personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws. I would actually get into that because I used an app and I just filled in the same day that I made my character. I just filled the entire thing, and I'm like, oh, D&D is a cool way to get out your creative vibes. I don't know. Background details, class details, just like class and like subclass background, backstory, and class table. So I have to say, I'm not yet that knowledgeable on D&D, so this is just me guessing what this means. But class table, I would assume, because it says class table level like 1, 2, 3 all the way up to 20th, and then it said proficiency bonus, features, and then etc. I would assume this is for leveling up, but I cannot be certain. There's character stats, which is important. Also, just to mention, like you're gonna have to like you have your HP area to put down, but this paper is very thin, and like it is meant for pencil, and I like it's decent quality paper. But you can put down your saving throws, proficiency bonus, hit dice, just all those normal just stat bonuses. Attacks and spellcasting, ammunition, and languages. So like people who actually keep track of ammunition, which I'm so glad I don't play a ranger or anyone who uses a bow, because dear lord, that would be tedious. But some people like the tediousness of it. But spellcasting ability, spell save DC, like all that stuff for spellcasting. Your death save, your death save successes and failures, you can like label those if you die. Attack and spell notes. So I guess that would be like where you could put down like the description for flavor text on your spells. That's just me assuming. I'm doing a lot of assuming because I don't like. They're using like this is meant for D&D 5e, but I'm not using like those terminologies for it. But hi, other viewer, that's the word. Welcome to the stream. We're covering the Field Notes 64-page 5e character journal. I keep on getting comments from Instagram saying to promote it on places, and I'm like, no, I'm not. those are mostly all scams. Favorite and frequent spells. So, say you're a druid, and you have access to all your spells. You just need like time to get them ready. You can label your favorite spells in this little section here, and you can also put down your spellcasting ability, spell save DC, and spell attack bonus, just to like make sure you have all that information. But like you can put down your favorite spells so that you don't like you can put that in the favorite spells and their descriptions, so you don't have to go like thumbing through any kind of handbooks or pulling out your druid spell card deck or just going online. Like you can just go into the book and find everything you need right there, which I find very useful. I don't play a druid, but I would find that very useful if I was a druid. Currently playing a bard, and you'll see my bard later on. More favorite and frequent spells. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 pages where you can list your favorite spells, which is a decent amount of room. Proficiency and skills. There's 2 pages on that. Equipment, and then there's equipment and money, which I've been wanting this book for a while, ever since I got the one at Christmas. So I did watch one review, and I don't remember much from it, but I do remember them mentioning the debts owed and paid section in this. And I was very excited to get my hands on this because that is so useful for a bard, because sometimes you fail when trying to bargain with traders, and sometimes you get a debt. I feel like this will be very useful. And also money and conversion. So like that's also extremely useful in terms of like figuring out like how much copper is. I need to learn how to read this. I can't read it right now. That's shows bad because I'm not really looking at it. I mean, I'm looking at it, but I'm not deeply looking at it. Copper. Oh, that makes sense. Wait, no. So like the let me see it on the camera. Like you can see like silver is 10 in copper. So like 10 silver would go into copper, 1 silver would go into silver, 1/5 would go into electrum, which I've never used. Never used that. We just, in my campaign, we just use gold. But there's treasures. There's 2 pages on treasures, so that could be good for like marking down possibly like who looted the bodies of any enemies you killed and who gets like the treasure and stuff like that. Or in my case, I know I had a player who was a walking set of armor, and I was over encumbered, so I gave him some of my loot to hold. So like I could mark like he has my loot in him, which is a very, very niche and like strange topic, but like it could happen, obviously. but there's also 2 pages for downtime and leisure activity tracking, which I like that because I tend to run some D&D one shots for the holidays, and that could possibly count for that. And here's like for, I don't know, it makes me sound old, the meat and potatoes of any note-taking journal is the actual note-taking part, like where you write your session notes. And this is where I have a little bit of a problem with this book, because it doesn't go by session, it goes by level. So you only have 1 page of notes per level, which could be a problem for some who write excessive notes. Or just like write more than 1 page of notes for a session. I don't think I will, and actually I'm planning on, if I actually get the money, to go the Ginny D route and make my own journal through like a binder and like scrapbooking kind of thing. But yeah, it's just 1 page of notes, experience points, list milestones, hit points, gain / total, GM sign off. I don't really know what a GM sign off is, but if anyone can tell me in chat or in comments, that would be excellent. So there's just like more of that, just pages and pages of notes meant just for those levels, from 1 to 20. And allies, hirelings, sidekicks, and miscellaneous, which would be useful for any like familiars or NPCs that come along for the ride, or in my case, a cat, which isn't my familiar, it's just a pet that I found in the forest and named it Zimbo. So he is a wonderful cat named Zimbo. Not magical, just an ordinary cat named Zimbo. And there are 4 pages. These pages are very strange feeling in that they feel like they're 2 pages even though they're 1 page. Because they're so small, you think there's more than 1 page there. It's like, this doesn't feel right. Faction details. So if your DM decides to have like factions in the campaign, like you can write faction details, faction name, faction renown. So like I would assume faction renown would be like your relationship with that faction. And there's a page per each faction, which I think that would be enough room to like pretty much log not only the information about it, the location where like the headquarters of the faction is, but also have a list of things that you have done with the faction that could merit bringing up later if you need to talk with the faction to ask for help or to ask them to stop doing something or something along those lines. And there are how much you want to guess there's 4? No, 5, 6. There's 6 pages, 1 faction per each page of faction details, which is honestly pretty good. That gives a lot of player freedom in exactly how much just how much factions are actually made. Campaign quotes and notes. My campaign has a quote book, but like you could write down any quotes or notes that you find in your campaign. There are 5, 6. I can't turn the page. So there's 6 pages for that. Behind the scenes, thoughts, theories, etc. So you can write down any notes that you find in your campaign about, like any notes that you find in your campaign that are like, hey, this is connecting with this, which connects with this, which the birds behind it all. I don't know. But like that could be something that you could write down behind the scenes, like if you are involved in any of the writing of the campaign, like maybe you could write down, like jot down, not the entirety of a one shot, but like you could jot down like, hey, I did something in this village, and this is what happened, a short summary of like what happened, who got what, if there's any like battles, and anything important to the plot, like list that there. And then a session log. So again, GM sign off. I'm not entirely sure what that is. There's 2 pages of this, and it shows the date, the adventure played, and the GM sign off. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I will have to ask. And then of course the last page is the licensing of the book. But there's also the other cover, which has a 35-foot ruler. I would assume that's scaled down because this book is not 35 feet. There's practical applications, so cantrip, regrets, NPC loved. I'm not entirely sure what that would be. Wild speculation, supply squandered. Determines. Oh yeah, combat by steps, like telling you how combat works. Alignment table, ability scores and modifiers, and then just the specifications for the book. And if you want, you can call or you can email a special email and tell them how you feel about the book, which I think this video shows that I enjoy this book a lot. Technically, I haven't really used it that much, but I will enjoy it. I enjoy how it looks. I think it is very practical in its usage. And yeah, so that was just one item that I got from the comic store. And now going to an actual comics that I got 3 comics, which I will not go in depth on them. I will just show them to you. And I will also possibly take photos of some of the pages that I thought were cool and post them on my Instagram/Twitter, which are both in the bios of Twitch and YouTube if you are interested in following. But the first one that I found that caught my eye was Dungeon is Back. Now this is all on the free comic book day, which that was a while ago, but my comic book store is still giving them away 3, like you can just grab 3 and that's your free comic book. So like every time that I go in, I'm just like, grab 3. Last time they had a Critical Role comic book in there, which really, I'll have to read these and make like a little thing. I'll say a little thing on Twitter of like my opinions on these, because I know there was a Life is Strange comic book for the new game that tied in the old games with the new games, kind of, but it was really bad in the way that it was done, and it was more done like an advertisement. Which these comic books are meant to be advertisements for like people who make comic books, like Dark Horse Comics and stuff like that. But like the people like Critical Role, like they actually put effort into their